Exactly 100 years ago, the doors of Central Library opened. In 2012, 100 years later, virtually everything that Central Library offered is heavily in demand today. Some of the most beautiful rooms in the United States are being carefully restored, but at the same time, a modern library is being installed inside it. And you can see they're beginning to restore the paint. The ones on these sides haven't been touched, or the great rosettes in the center. So of course we're in the center of the building now, the Great Hall. When we moved the desk, which is going to be restored and put back in place, we discovered that the marble floors had been worn down to nearly nothing by 100 years of patrons walking up to the desk. So what you see here is some of the marble being pulled up so it can be restored for marble gathered in other places in the building, or in some cases we had to bring it from the original quarry. When the building opened originally, this was 7 stories of book stacks. All of those had to be emptied out. They didn't meet any modern code at all. This will be a computer commons to our right, where patrons will be able to use state-of-the-art wired machines and access all of the tools that makes available. Wireless training rooms so that we can train in any number of technologies or programs on this floor. There's a cafe for the first time in this building, something patrons have asked us for years. This we are calling the Center for the Reader. This is a new high-interest fiction collection. This is space that's never existed before since the building opened in 1912. This was all staff workrooms and staff spaces. All of the walls were torn out. And because of the enormous beams that carry the Great Hall above us, it can be one gigantic room open for the first time. There was a small railroad that ran through this space to supply coal for the massive furnaces. So now what this is, you can see, is a ramped theater auditorium for 250 people. You can see we're not going to be having Tosca on that stage, but still it's been carefully planned so that we can get a grand piano. So far it is exceeding my expectations. There is a great deal that remains to be done. The building is what houses the library. The library within has to be reinvented, reworked, and modernized as well. And so that's a huge undertaking when we're in the midst of that. But so far, everything is on time, it's exceeding our expectation, and it's on budget.